It's funny, we all said something different.
Yeah, I think I just said yay.
Tape on the bottom of my shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
Normal interview situation, just talking to me and
Wonderful.
ask you a few questions.
So
and then
good.
you relieved. Yeah.
So hard, God.
So, let's talk in the beginning. How did you guys came into music? Did your parents bought an instrument, or you went to a musical school? Or
Kind of all of the above. The way we started in with music was, I mean, a lot of it was, our parents. All of our parents love rock and roll, so we grew up listening to Fleetwood Mac and a lot of 70s, 80s rock, and all of our parents were very supportive. As in, like when we wanted to set out on our individual, ventures into music, they said, yeah, absolutely, which is kind of strange. But
I think a lot of times music chooses the people instead of the other way. Some people just fall right into it, and you can't escape it. I'm sure you've seen guys in their 50s that all of a sudden are back in bands again. You just can't run away from it. It gets you.
You sell all your stuff, then you buy it all back, and it's funny because as soon as you figure it out and I don't know, it grabs a hold of you, and then everything else comes second. I think it happened in a similar way for all of us.
That happened to our dad, definitely. When he had kids, he gave up music, sold all his basses, sold all his guitars, everything. And then when we started getting into music, we drug him back into it again, so it's pretty cool.
cool. So when you then formed the band, what were your expectations at this time? Did you only want to have fun, or do you already had commercial interests?
The goal was to do what we love every single day, and hopefully make it so that we didn't have to do something that we hated in order to fund what we wanted to do. Doing what we love for a living. I mean, that's a lot of it. I guess everybody has that goal, and very few people ever get lucky enough to achieve it. But I don't know. It changes over time, because this is an interesting time for us, because for years it was about there's this fantasy of we could be out on the road, we could be touring the world, we could come to Vienna, and now that we're here, now it's this kind of fight to keep it going and make sure that with every step that we take, there's forward movement, and because now it's different. It's not just the four of us anymore. Now we have a label and a management and all of what. Oh,
Gotta run.
See ya.
We'll be right back.
You guys are good. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You guys are
So
good.
to continue.
So as we were saying,
Am I really that?
same eating schedule, so they're also on. Never mind.
It's a long story.
So what were we talking about before you started rambling?
Just yapping on everything.
We just started doing it because we love to do it, and we've been playing together forever. Like we've been jamming.
We're
'cause
brother
and sister. So
started out in the living room.
it was a noisy house growing, definitely. And then our parents booked us this one talent show gig where we would just play together, and it was just for fun on a whim, and it just the way it felt and the way how. The way we felt about it afterwards, we were just like, wow, we got to do this again and again and again and again. We were hooked.
We ended up, I was 13, he was 10 years old. We ended up naming the band Halestorm that day and never stopped.
Yeah.
Like you say, you were booked on a talent show. Is some band contests, are they useful for young bands?
I think so. I think the main goal as any young band is just to play everywhere and anywhere that they let you play. I mean, we did
get your name out there.
We did restaurants for free ice cream. We did a funeral once.
Did a lot of benefit
concerts,
of Toys for Tots.
And in church basements and
lock-ins, youth lock-ins.
Any benefits that they would let us play, and it's interesting because a lot of it is the stars aligning and luck, but you can kind of help that luck along by just being everywhere. And we slowly but surely ended up doing about 250 dates a year on our own, and we were doing pretty well. And that was right before we actually got an offer from Atlantic. But it's it's interesting, and just keeping something moving. I think we fell in love with the chase of it too.
Yeah,
Because the more gigs
challenge.
we would play, the more gigs we would play, the more people would end up coming.
And also you see the results. You see more people coming back to the shows, and even now we, at this stage in the game, we see people coming, singing along to the songs that they hear on the radio and that they hear on the record, and really that just keeps us going. We just want to conquer more.
Yeah,
we
just want to keep it moving.
Because
what happens
we're not
next?
going anywhere.
So just because you mentioned it, how do you came to play at a funeral?
Oh, and that was the strangest gig. We didn't know the family at all. We didn't know the family or the deceased. The funeral director ended up hearing about us, and she came to us and said, there's this family who needs a live band to play the deceased's favorite songs. So we ended up learning.
It was acoustic, right?
It was acoustic. It was just acoustic show, and they set us up right in front of the coffin, and we got paid $50 a song, and we played a few of
good money.
the deceased's favorite songs. But it was so strange.
We're gonna do a
because,
funeral tour.
Well, it was just strange because. Unfortunately, this wasn't the type of show where anyone would clap after the song. They would all be just crying, and so we're just.
So yeah, we're not used to that.
All right, see you later. And just like you don't know how to act.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily want to come out being like, all right, hello everybody, how you doing?
Let's rock and roll for Frederick.
Let's hear it for Bob. Yeah,
That's awful.
You don't want to do that, so you want to be respectful. So, yeah, that was a very strange show.
For Bob.
Let's hear it for Bob.
Oh yeah, that would not be good.
It's very strange.
But hey, it was a gig.
Yeah, we have we're under Bill McGathy, which is Indigoot Entertainment,
New York City.
New York City, and
is it better for you to have a management, or do you also like to manage yourself?
For years and years we managed ourselves, and I think that by having somebody, especially like our manager's amazing. He was in radio for 25 years, rock radio, so he has such a passion for his bands, and he's so incredibly loyal to his bands, and
that's where it really helps.
To have somebody on the outside that knows that area and can see you from the outside, because I mean, we know a lot about ourselves, but we kind of are seeing it from the inside out, whereas he has a different perspective, and especially now that things are becoming so busy, to have somebody else kind of take care of that and also tell us like, hey, you're screwing up. That helps too. So
yeah,
which by the way, you're screwing up.
Yeah, sorry. I've discovered that having a manager is probably one of the most important things to have, because they take care of everything for you, and also having a good management can lead to a really good booking agency and a really good record label or anything. Just I've seen so many bands that aren't even on labels anymore. They just have managers, and it's pretty cool because they they pretty much encompass everything. They take care of any problem.
In the same breath, you don't necessarily want to have any manager or any label.
Right,
it's about building your team and surrounding yourself with people that really believe in you and that understand, your goal. So everyone has a common goal, and it's like a partnership. It's a business partnership. We have something that can help them. They have something that can help us. But ultimately, we're working toward the same thing, which is just to keep going.
So what do you think as a band?
We're very hard.
You have to ask them that question.
Yeah. I'm sure they wouldn't hesitate to tell you that. Yes.
We have a
We're
pretty
the most difficult band.
We have a pretty good perspective on and we listen, and you have to understand that there are people that surround you and that are out there that know more than you do, and then it's kind of like, I'm not going to tell my manager how to promote our song at radio, because I've never done that personally by myself, but then my manager isn't going to come up and say, hey, this is how you should be singing, because he's never done that. So it's it's a give and take, and you have to there has to be a lot of respect for each other. And I feel like
Good relationship.
I feel like we have that. We have a very healthy relationship.
With our whole team, management, label, everyone's.
We actually, I'll tell
we
you
really
what,
got lucky.
We do have the best label out there right now.
Atlantic.
We've they've been holding the flag for us for a long time, and really have a sense of. They let us do our thing, and they let us figure certain things out on our own, you know, and build everything out here on the front lines, you know, on tour, and keep us out there and support us when we need support. So
we've seen so many horror stories and so many bands just talk about how they don't get along with their label, and their label doesn't let them do this, or they try to tell them how to do everything, and it's just amazing how important it is to have a record label that believes in you and that you have a good relationship with.
It's funny because people don't believe us. They're like, so
Yeah.
what do you think of your label? I'm like, we love our label.
Sure.
Sure you do.
Sure.
Yeah, like, no, seriously, we actually do. And part of the, going back to kind of certain steps of ours, how we got signed off of our live show, and we literally had a relationship with the people from Atlantic for about 7 months before we actually put ink to paper and signed the deal. We got to know their families, we got to know how they dealt with people, so they really became friends and family of ours before we decided to go into business with each other.
That helps a lot too.
So yeah, it's
it's
a good.
So far so
So
good.
far so good. We're still here.
Image or certain style for you?
Always. I think that musically, we just always wanted to make music that we loved, you know, and that made us feel something, and we've continued to do that miraculously. As far as, you know, image and clothing on stage and all of that, we've always wanted to kind of dress a little bit above the audience, whereas it's a rock show, you know, you want to give a show in every aspect, and we all like, you know, you like dressing up,
Silly
and you
clothes.
like, you know, you like making somebody go, oh, where'd they get that jacket, you know, that kind of thing, and
Yeah, we were always influenced by frontmen like Freddie Mercury and Alice Cooper, who really put on a big theatrical rock show, you know. And we've always been primarily a live band. When you come to the show, you definitely know that, you know.
Even if you have the record, you have to come out and see the show.
Yeah, yeah.
It's part of who we are.
It definitely shows that we love playing live, and we love performing and entertaining.
The only thing that's tough with image-wise is trying to make sure we eat healthy on the road, so we don't become, you know, taco rockers and, you know, big burritos trying to play.
McDonald's or Taco Bell.
No McDonald's or Taco Bell anymore.
Anymore. We're all getting old.
Especially when you live in a small, you know, in a bus with everybody all so close together, that can, you know.
That can backfire.
Literally.
Cool. So I have another few. Okay. The first one is, what was the first record or tape or CD you ever bought for yourself?
First record, CD, or tape we ever bought.
For me, it was the two CDs that I first bought was a Live Heart record, On the Road Home, and Van Halen's 1984. The first two. Actually, they were cassette tapes at the time.
I think my first one was Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. I bought it a long time ago. I was little. There was this one music store. What was that? Keystone Music or something in Pennsylvania. And I don't know. The cover looked cool. I didn't really know anything about music. I was really young. But I just bought it and turned it on, and I was like, yeah. It just felt good, you know.
I can imagine. What was the first live show you ever saw?
Oh, saw? First live show we ever saw.
What was that?
Well, there was this band called DC Talk that we saw a long time ago.
Well, I don't know if it counts. My first concert was when I was 8 years old, and that my parents took me to see Cheap Trick.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't entirely understand all of it. Now I do, but we were right in front of the speakers, so that that's part of the reason that.
Cheap Trick.
First concert.
When you have to put the music in a certain genre you do, what would it be?
Music in the shower?
Oh, the music.
Music genre like
Oh.
rock or opera
Oh,
or hip hop.
if
or
there's a
whatever.
different music genre that other than rock.
No,
Great.
if what would you describe Halestorm?
Oh.
Hard rock straight up your ass. I don't know. Never mind.
Like
Kiss and what was it? Kick in the teeth and a kiss in the face. Rock and roll.
Well, a genre.
That's not really a genre, is
That's
it?
not really a genre.
Suck at this. Why don't you take it away?
What
do you think?
I liked your first answer. I think straight ahead hard rock is pretty
Straight
much
up
what we're
rock and
gonna do,
roll.
You know, 3 chords and the truth. God damn it.
thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you guys.
Thank you so much.